Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. I'm a realist and a matchmaker and a dating coach, and I have no delusions that anybody is dating somebody that they're not attracted to. Maybe you've seen certain gentlemen disagreeing with me in the comments that anything other than good looks is irrelevant to women, and that everybody only wants somebody who has amazing good looks. They want us to believe that looks matter and looks are the only thing that matters. And I've been doing this a pretty long time, many, many years actually, and I've coached people and matched people with people. I have clients marry people I've matched them with, and I've seen them marry people that I did not introduce them to. I have lots of personal data is what I'm trying to tell you, and I want to share with you what I know about good looks and attraction. If you are at all intrigued, I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. So yeah, I'm a realist and I'm pretty darn honest, sometimes too honest, or at least veering in that direction. So I have no reason to mislead you or lie to you about any of this stuff because while I don't feel that everybody needs a partner or needs to get married, we discussed that in a recent episode, and some people come right out and tell you that that's not what they're looking for. I'm for all of that. I just want you to be in the best relationship possible, even if that relationship is with yourself. So first of all, let's talk about this whole list thing. I'm a list maker, so I totally understand the joy of having a list. Lists are something that people have either taken upon themselves to write out on paper maybe, type it into a computer or on their phone, or it may be a list that they just keep in their head of stuff they need. If they're working with me, it's something I encourage them to share with me so I know what I'm looking for or can help them remember on the dating journey what they said they wanted in a partner. So based on that honesty and knowing that you can trust my sincerity, I will share with you that not one person I have ever interviewed in the thousands of people of whom I've asked this question of top priorities have said that good looks are their number one priority in a partner. Not one. I asked, narrow that down to the top three. Not one. I'm going to remind you that none of my clients are in high school. I'm just throwing that out there because I do remember girls just wanting to date the cutest boy in the class and vice versa. It went very far in elevating your own popularity rating or status in a place that was very often based purely on those things socially. No, I'm dealing with adults only. And while occasionally I do have to remind somebody about what they're looking for, a reminder, you're looking for a mother to your children, not a woman to show off and impress your friends. This is almost always in regards to them having met a woman they think is very, very attractive, but who's also missing some of the things that would be important in a long-term committed relationship. Everybody wants somebody they find attractive. This is not even anything we have to discuss. It's assumed. If I match somebody, let's say a man with a woman he finds repulsive, he's never going to invest time to find her other amazing qualities. I understand that. I know that. A woman who can't even picture kissing a man after date number 3, she's not going to continue looking for signs that he's going to be a great dad to her children. Done. I totally get that. Dating with the help of a matchmaker can be a challenge for some people because sometimes we are curating blind dates. Not always, but sometimes. Depends on who you're working with and the circumstances you've arranged. Picture yourself as a matchmaker with me as a client. I can share with you that I'm not attracted to certain hair colors or physical features typically. I might even tell you that I have a type. And you're going to talk to me about that because you've seen so many people end up marrying people who are nothing like the type that they described to you when they first started working with you. You can keep the height, body type, coloring preferences in mind as you look for my match and decide to not match me with somebody who you know does not fit into my preferences at all. But that's still pretty broad. What am I going to think is attractive? Will you just go off your own tastes, your preferences, or what you think is handsome in a man? Also, if you're a good matchmaker, you realize that if he doesn't have some of those other qualities on the list and all of the top tier qualifications, those top 3, He's not going to be attractive to me no matter how good looking he is. It really is, and I cannot stress this enough, so subjective. I've matched women with men I thought were, so handsome. And nope, they didn't agree. And I've set up a male client with a fantastic woman, but was concerned about, was she cute enough for him? His feedback was that she was beyond beautiful. That actually happens a lot. You may remember me talking about one of my first clients who gave me the feedback about her date that he was so good looking that she just wanted to climb across the table and make out with him, but really never heard a word that he said and barely remembered what she'd said. In the end, it didn't matter because he didn't want to see her again for a second date. Obviously, that happens, right? So her thoughts on that were negated by what he thought. But she may have understood his decision better had she been present and more curious about who he was. In fact, that date may have had a whole different outcome altogether if she'd been more engaged and interested in learning more about his personality, maybe. But back to your client, me. How specific can I get in telling you what good looking means to me? Oh, I guess you could ask me who are my celebrity crushes, right? But you're never going to find a real man in my 40-mile radius who's likely to look like my favorite movie star. You'll find real men, right? You're going to find real men to match me with, not magical unicorns. Oh, you might even think to ask me for pictures of my exes or for profile pics from the apps of men I've chosen for myself and dated. The and dated part is really important. Otherwise, I could just grab photos of all the hottest guys on the app who would have no interest at all in dating me. And this has to be a mutual match, or what's the point? And yeah, I do this. I do both of those things with clients sometimes. It helps a little, but still, attraction is weird and there's no formula. I know that some matchmakers will say they're looking for a match for their client who's about a 6 on the scale of 1 to 10, so they're looking for a match who's between 5 and a 7. I have a really hard time rating people like that. I have to look at the bigger picture as you might as my matchmaker, which brings me to my second and kind of a main point. My client, who wanted to crawl across the table, if she had met this man on her own without my help in the selection process, and he'd asked her out or vice versa, however that date came about, if she found him super attractive, as she obviously did, it's very likely that she would have overlooked so many major red flags and maybe even deal breakers. I know that we say one deal breaker and I'm out of here, but in fact, people can really break past our deal breakers quite easily, according to a lot of studies. When someone is very attracted to another person, they find him or her very attractive, and they're having a great time because they like the person. They like their company so much that they're attracted to them. In that situation, they're not at their finest when it comes to rational decision making. Their entire list can sometimes go right out the window because chemistry is a list annihilator. That's my point here. So when fellas are arguing in my comment section that really only looks matter, that wears off if the person doesn't have all the qualities that are on the list. I mean, I've never seen anybody continue to date somebody who was also not kind, compassionate, nice to the wait staff, with good manners, fairly aligned in both their politics and religious beliefs, and who wants the same things in their future. Without those things, this is just a temporary distraction. The list matters in the long run, is what I'm trying to say. People are not as shallow as these commenters would like us to believe. I hope you found that interesting or helpful, and I think you might enjoy this episode if you were ever wondering if you were too ugly to date. I think maybe some of those guys are a little concerned about that. In any event, don't forget to give Mom her thumbs up. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you back again soon. Until next time, have a good one.